oh maybe, you like my easy smile. And maybe, oh maybe, we'll stop for a little while. And maybe, oh maybe, I'll ask if you like tea. And maybe, oh maybe, you'll have a cup with me. And maybe we don't, and decide to take a walk. And you and I will ponder as we wander, as we walk.
Ponder While We Wander is so grateful for our first community sponsorship. A big shout out to Pine Tree Market, run by Michael and Katie Henderson, and their lodging support for us during our stay in Yosemite National Park. We're so grateful not only for their support, but their excitement in helping us share all things ecopsychology to a wider audience. If you ever find yourself in Wawona, California, make sure to swing by Pine Tree Market, your corner market, while you're in Wawona, and say hi for us. Sam the cat would love some pets as well. He's always at the ready to greet his human friends.
And you and I will ponder as we wander, as we walk.
Hey, Amber.
Hi, Natasha.
This, I think, is one of the best combinations of topic and location that we're going to have today.
I know. I agree. It's incredibly, incredibly beautiful where we are right now.
Yeah. And just saying hello to the space that we're in. We're in Yosemite National Forest, and we are in the heart of the valley here. So we want to also acknowledge that this is the ancestral grounds of the Yosemite Indians and the Miwok tribe, who have yet to be federally recognized. At the time of this recording, at least. Hopefully that will change soon. And
we wanted to welcome you to Ponder While We Wander, where two friends who happen to be therapists go for a walk to discuss relationships, nature, and meet life in the moment. Each episode is grounded in some aspect of ecopsychology, but can take us anywhere as we ponder while we wander. And you are welcome to come along.
today we're talking about taking an awe walk. Awe, A-W-E. Awe walk.
This is the limitation of the podcast in this moment, because I wish we could have everyone seeing right now the same thing that we're seeing. And of course, I know we'll post pictures and videos and do our best to describe where we're at, but it truly does conjure up a sense of awe.
Gosh, we just pull over here and this snow, the white snow, and the dark gray granite, and some of those trees that are without leaves right now.
Yeah.
And the evergreens.
The ones behind them that
It's
are.
just, yeah. So that brings us to maybe what is awe, and why might it be important?
How would you define that?
Well, luckily, I didn't have to. That Dr. Dacher Keltner has written a book that I was so inspired by, and maybe a little bit in awe of. And his book is Awe, The New Science of Everyday Wonder and How It Can Transform Your Life. And the way that he describes awe is that there's an emotional encounter with vast, mysterious things. And it's an emotion. It's something that comes over you when you're in these moments where there's a combination of something bigger than ourselves. And also there's an element of mystery. Like we might not know. And bringing a sense of curiosity to that. I think you know it. Like when you experience awe, is there a physical sensation that comes over you, or is there?
Yeah, I was thinking about this, like how maybe the moments that I felt that and what's the quality of those, like how do I know that that's what's happening? And it simultaneously feels like definable and yet not quite, can't quite name it all the way, but I feel like the sensations for me, how I might describe them, it's almost like this welling up feeling from maybe my stomach up to my chest and my heart space. And it's maybe this like warmth of sensation. Sometimes it might even bring a tear to my eye when I'm in those moments, or a feeling of what I might describe as like deep gratitude can emerge when when I've had those moments. Can sometimes feel peaceful for me, like a sense of deep connection, luminous, a bit mysterious, and for me, maybe otherworldly in a sense.
Did you say luminous or numinous?
Numinous.
Numinous. Yes, I love that word. Numinous. Yeah. I have the sensation also kind of in my torso area, and it's like almost like a butterfly sensation, but then it's like in my heart space where it's almost like I can't catch my breath a little bit in those times. And same thing, I might have like tears that come to my eyes, or even chills. Like I get, like goosebumps sometimes.
Yeah, it has a sense of like, for me, just one more thing I'd add, it's like all is right in this moment. There's something about it that just feels really like, okay.
Looks like there are a lot of human happenings over there. Just back this way.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just actually, when we got to our location and looked up, it's been snowy here, so there's a lot of snow, but right now the sun has been coming in and out, so it's been warming up the area, and we heard something up above and could look up. There was a tiny little, well, I mean, it would have been huge if we were up there, but it was up pretty high, an avalanche that happened that we could witness. We were just there at the right amount of time, and right time, right place, right time. And yeah, the power of that, and yeah, to me that was pretty awesome. Yeah,
I agree.
Inspiring, the combination of both awe and wonder. So that brings us to, well, I mean, we could talk a little bit more about awe. When he wrote his book, Dr. Keltner had been studying happiness. He had been studying well-being at Cal Berkeley, and he's a part of the Greater Good Science Center there. And when he talks about awe, there are ways that this shows up in our lives. And another way that it shows up sometimes is called shared awe, or what he describes as collective effervescence.
Ew.
So if you've ever been to a concert with a bunch of people, you're having that sense of awe, or maybe even sporting events. We just got, people are watching the Olympics, or have just finished watching them, or participating in them. Right? That collective awe, and that those have an impact on us. There are different kinds of awes as well, which come from like a sense of moral beauty. And so we might have awe if we are moved by others who are doing some things that we find are awesome. So that could just be doing the great works in the world, or watching an athlete do amazing things, and then you go try to do it just a little bit.
Yeah.
And have some real sense of appreciation for that.
I was trying to describe a little bit to my kids this Olympics, because it's probably the first one they're a bit old enough to watch, and trying to describe that to them about, like, we were watching figure skating, and so see how easily they glide, and how easy they make that look, and how incredibly difficult it actually is. Like, there's something that is really hard, looks so easy. I think for me, it's even like more like, oh wow.
Definitely can inspire that awe, especially if you're starting to look around for it. The other things that might inspire this, especially if you start looking for awe, are things like this: time in nature, music, visual design. And I would also say that, like, this time in nature, it's not just human-made design, but like the design of this whole area, and yeah, these huge rock granite cliffs. And that there's also something spiritual or mystical or numinous about that. And yeah, other ways are also when we have epiphanies about big questions in life. Or
I love it when that happens.
Yeah.
Right? You get some
like-
clarity about something, or see something from a completely different perspective.
some awe around that. And also the death and dying process. There have been lots of moments in my own life and in the lives of people I know where that process of witnessing or a companion during that time with somebody else can really invoke that sense of awe. We know that it's good for the immune system, that it's good for the connection to the collective, and also that it can inspire scientific thought. And I would also say creativity too. We can have that sense of creative breakthrough or connection.
Yeah, definitely inspire greater access to creativity, or desire to do something. Like another way of needing to like express that sense or that feeling of awe through creative works.
What he found was that we can actually start looking for it and bringing it and inviting it into our lives. And that is the shift that can help bring all those benefits that we're talking about, and maybe even more. You know, I'm thinking about it in terms of that reciprocal relationship, that when we have the sense of awe, that we are also taken out of our ego self, right? Of that the world revolves around us, and only as it takes kind of that blinder off a little bit and recognizes that we are part of something bigger and connected to something bigger. And so it can be a practice.
What would you say might be some of the things to perhaps consider if someone's wanting to explore intentionally cultivating awe, or are there small sort of entry points for people to think about exploring that, would you say?
I think for when you answered the question of like, where do you feel that in your body? Maybe when you think about that, you think about times when that has happened for you. And I was wondering if when you did recall those sensations, if there was a memory there for you of feeling that sensation.
Yeah, I think there's a few different reference points for me, but I think it can sometimes come up for me when I'm traveling. So there's like a sense of maybe newness or new perspective or new experience that's beginning to emerge or about to emerge. It doesn't always have to be big travel, but I think something about thinking about like the novelty of something new. So I think I have a few memories of, being in the airport on my way to see my little brother that was far away. He's in Norway. And traveling by myself at that time, and, I was sitting, I was probably having a glass of wine and some French fries, and I had my journal out, and I was about to make this journey. And that's one of the moments that I think of where it's like I had that kind of rush feeling, and I was really just feeling so grateful for where I was at in that moment, and slowed down a little bit. I mean, that one maybe caught me. So sometimes I think for thinking about like it can either catch you, and then how do you slow down and pay attention to it? Or also maybe how do you intentionally look for it? So I think that might be a moment of when it caught me and slowing down. I think moments when I think about looking for it, I have, where I live, I get to see bald eagles flying by on a pretty regular basis. And I'm always kind of keeping my peripherals open for when I see that going by, because an eagle flying by almost always conjures a sense of awe for me, of a connection to that animal or what it is symbolically about it. But so there's a part of me that's maybe had that experience, and then I intentionally keep an eye out for other opportunities to have that. What about for you?
Yeah. I think that one of the ways that I go looking for those experiences is through live music. And I think it's twofold. I think, one, it's the experience maybe of being in a group and experiencing that together. But for me, it's like not too big of a group. I don't like big stadium shows. I can't feel that energy really, but a smaller show or a mid-sized show like that, to me, it's really I can, that kind of excitement that builds up to it, and then it's right before it starts, and you're waiting and then like whatever it is that first, like however they come in with a
first resonance of sound.
And then throughout that, if it's a good show, right, then you've got other people around you who are into it as well. And so it depends on the people I'm around too. Yeah. And it's interesting that different areas and different people will resonate differently at shows. Like I tend to find that this is no shade to Los Angeles, but maybe a little. But sometimes the crowds in Los Angeles are just not as like energetic. Like maybe they're a little, maybe reserved, or maybe too self-conscious, or maybe looking through their phones too much to record something and not really in it. But when I go to other areas, or maybe it's the show, who knows, where people are really in the present moment, I really sense that.
Those choruses, like the whole crowd knows, and then everybody starts singing together. It's probably that collective effervescence piece, you know?
Singing together, even if it's around a campfire, but you got people singing together.
Yeah, there's this recognition point, I feel like. It's like,
the other part of that is if you have tried to play instruments, like you can really appreciate when somebody is playing music and they're playing their instrument, whether they're singing or they're playing their instrument really well. Like there's some awe there. And also songwriting to me. If you've ever tried to write a song, can't really, I can't really force it. So that experience can be something I seek out for awe. I think when we start to pay attention to those parts of what has created that sense for you, and then tune into that, you might be more able to see where you can search for that.
Yeah, that's a good point. I'm going to pay attention a little bit first.
Right there. From that.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
A woodpecker?
I think so.
Oh, there's two.
It's kind of moving around like a woodpecker. Oh, yeah.
Black and white with a little orange patch at his crest of his head.
Oh, yeah. They are definitely pecking like woodpeckers.
So beautiful.
They're smaller than
Can get a
the
photo.
ones that are down by me.
Yeah, I don't know if I've seen one of this color either.
I'm usually looking for a little flash of red. I think the other one has a little flash of red.
Right back at the top of its head.
So things like we're doing today, walking in nature. Dacher Keltner has described a 5-point process in this. And I'd love to share that with people just so if they want to start somewhere and start with an awe walk, that there's a little bit of a roadmap or a little bit of a structure if you haven't done it before. So the first thing is it starts with a breath and just noticing your breath. There's a squirrel over there.
There's a falcon over there too.
Holy cow. We're already started on our own. The second point is to feel your feet on the ground and then do maybe a more intentional breath of a 6 count in and a 6 count out. And that is all bringing your awareness to the present moment, to your body in this space. Recognizing you have a body, that you're not just a brain in a box being moved around by legs or however you get around. And then starting to shift your awareness, and I think it's so easy out here in nature, from the inside to what's around you.
Lots of responses right now.
And then once you're there and you have you shift your awareness to what is going on around you in your area, then you can open yourself to exploration and just see where you're drawn, see what inspires you, what inspires awe in you. See where your attention goes. Oh, is that the
Or hawk,
hawk
maybe.
or something? That's where we're going right now. Oh, it's got a red tail, really red. It's got to be a red-tailed hawk. So red. And then when you're done with your walk like that, that step number 4 can take a while. You can walk around for quite a while and do that. When you are done with your walk, you can finish again with a breath and come back to your body, bring it back into that awareness, and then go on with your day. You could take that even a minute or 2 a day to do something like that. Whether you are in your neighborhood or you're in a fabulous location like this.
Yeah. It's accessible anywhere. Thank you for doing that for us.
I think it's going to be important in the next topic that we end up talking about, coming up, about decentering ourselves and some of these paradigm shifts. Right? We're going to need a toolbox to do that. Oh, wow. It's like 2 ravens going after a hawk across this field.
Yeah.
So much drama.
They're having some kind of discussion. Sounds tense.
Yeah.
Or maybe excited.
Maybe excited.
Could be.
Well, thank you for coming on this walk. I think we'll hang around here a little bit more, but you guys get out there and try it and tell us what you think about it. And yeah,
Yeah, can't wait to hear. Let us know.
until then,
Wander well.